Good morning, students. In today's class, we will go through the chapter that is equilibrium. It is commonly, actually, there are two types of equilibrium: physical equilibrium and chemical equilibrium. Both are commonly called as equilibrium only. First, before going to that one, we have to know what is meant by reversible reaction, what is meant by irreversible reaction. Okay, let us see. Reversible reaction and irreversible reaction. By seeing the heading itself, we can understand that this reaction can be reversed. Suppose we started with reactants. Okay, products are formed. Again, products will be converted to reactants. That is reversible. Means products, again, there is a chance to be converted to reactants. But irreversible. At once reaction is completed, again there is no chance of products to be converted to reactants. The type of reaction is called irreversible reaction. This is reversible. For example, N2 plus 3H2 gives rise to 2NH3. Nitrogen and hydrogen are reacted to form ammonia. This is example for reversible reaction because this nitrogen and hydrogen are going to be reacted to form ammonia. Immediately that ammonia, there is a chance to be decomposed back to nitrogen and hydrogen again. Reversible reaction. Irreversible reaction, NaCl plus AgNO3 gives rise to AgCl plus NaNO3. Like the reactions are irreversible, at once products are formed, there is no chance of conversion of products to reactants again. Okay, anyways, our topic is not regarding irreversible reactions. Our topic is entirely regarding reversible because equilibrium is the concept related to reversible reactions only. We will see that one. Let us consider one example. I took one closed container. In that calcium carbonate was taken. That calcium carbonate is ignited, heated. That calcium carbonate will be decomposed to CaO plus CO2. Calcium carbonate is a solid. When it is heated, it will be decomposed to CaO and CO2, calcium oxide and CO2. This is converted to CaO plus CO2. The CO2 gas, we are not giving chance for that CO2 to escape out. We are closing that container. Generally, equilibrium reaction will be happening in closed container only. Because if it is a gaseous substance, maximum gaseous products will be formed. If it is a gaseous substance, if we are not giving chance for that to escape out, then there is a chance of this carbon dioxide reacts with calcium oxide again to form calcium carbonate. Reversible reaction can be happened. If it is open container, there is a chance of that carbon dioxide to be escaped out. Then it is unidirection. Unidirection means one direction, forward. Okay, no? Now, reversible reaction, it is represented by double arrow, by representing forward direction and backward direction. Reactants to products, that reaction is called forward reaction. Products to reactants, that is called backward reaction. Okay, this is like small introduction part regarding equilibrium. Particularly, this is chemical equilibrium. Now, equilibrium is of two types. What is the importance of that equilibrium? At equilibrium, what is going to be happen? Everything we will study today in this topic. And now coming to this types of equilibrium, there are two types of equilibrium: physical equilibrium and chemical equilibrium. Physical equilibrium does not contain any formula or problems related thing. The thing is, what is the importance of the physical equilibrium? Just we will see, and immediately we will shift to chemical equilibrium. Okay, let us see. I took beaker of water, beaker half it is filled with water. This is prepared with saturated sugar solution. This is nothing but, actually this beaker is filled with saturated sugar solution. What is meant by saturated sugar solution? that solution, if you add further amount of sugar, that sugar won't be dissolved, because already that water, how much extent it can dissolve the sugar, that much it has dissolved already. That is only saturated solution. Okay, so in a beaker full of beaker, we have taken that saturated sugar solution. What is that saturated sugar solution meaning? If you take any little amount of sugar newly, that little amount of sugar won't be dissolved. This solution won't accept further amount of sugar to be dissolved in it. But to this saturated solution, I took some amount of sugar, I added to it. When it is added to it, suppose I took 5 grams newly added sugar, that is 5 grams. Okay, now that 5 grams of sugar, whatever we are adding, that is going to be added to this saturated sugar solution, and it is getting deposited here because it is not going to dissolve. Already it is saturated solution, maximum amount it is dissolved. Now this is nothing but 5 grams. I dissolved in morning time. I kept this 5 grams in the morning time. Afternoon we have seen it will be 5 grams only. Evening we will see, even though it is 5 grams only, because there is no chance of sugar to be further dissolved. But we have to understand one thing, that is, whatever the amount it is remained, 5 grams, okay, in that, let us consider example 5 sugar molecules. In that 5 grams of sugar, 5 grams of sugar molecules are getting dissolved into solution. At the same time, 5 grams of sugar molecules from the dissolved state, in the dissolved state some molecules are present. Those 5 molecules of sugar which are present in dissolved state, they are getting undissolved. They are getting undissolved. Once again, after addition of this 5 grams of sugar to this saturated solution, what is happening there actually? The process is explained in a way that 5 grams of sugar, even though after some time if you see, that one will be remain same only. But we can't say that undissolved sugar will be like undissolved only, dissolved sugar will be like dissolved only, like that we can't say. Because some particles of undissolved sugar is getting dissolved. At the same time, same number of particles, how many particles are converted from undissolved state to dissolved state? Same condition, same number of particles from dissolved state, they will be getting undissolved. That is the thing that is called rate of forward process and rate of backward process. Rate of forward process and rate of backward process. Let us see what is the amount of undissolved sugar? 5 grams. Let us take this much amount of water, that is saturated solution. That much amount of water can dissolve 30 grams of sugar. (30 grams of sugar). 30 grams of sugar is in which state? Dissolved state. 5 grams of sugar is in which state? Undissolved state. Now these two are in equilibrium. Now what is that meaning of equilibrium? That is not telling that this undissolved sugar and dissolved sugar are in same quantity. They are not in same quantity. One is in 5 grams, another one is in 30 grams. They are not in same quantity. That is not the meaning. The meaning of this equilibrium is rate of forward process. That is, how many molecules are converted from undissolved state to dissolved state. That many molecules are converted from dissolved state to undissolved state. That is rate. Okay, rate of forward process and rate of backward process will be equal at equilibrium, but not amount of reactants and amount of products should be equal. There is no condition like that. Amount of reactants and amount of products are here. Undissolved sugar and dissolved sugar might be different. This is 5 grams of undissolved sugar. This might be 30 grams of sugar dissolved. But these are said to be in equilibrium. What is the reason? 5 molecules of undissolved sugar is getting dissolved. Same condition, same 5 number of particles will be dissolved condition to undissolved condition. In that way, this 5 grams of sugar is remained same. There is no change in amount of this 5 grams of sugar. Because rate of forward process, how many particles are converted from this undissolved state to dissolved state, that many particles are converted from dissolved state to undissolved state. This is the thing which is happening. This equilibrium is called dynamic equilibrium. This equilibrium is called dynamic equilibrium. Dynamic equilibrium is movement. At the equilibrium condition, actually, forward process is happening as well as reversible reaction is also happening. Reversible process, backward process also. But that thing is here, with how much extent forward process is happening, with same extent reversible backward process is also happening. That means rate of forward process and rate of backward process are same. Here I am telling once again, no need of same amount of reactant and product must be present at equilibrium. That is not a condition. The condition at equilibrium is rate of forward process must be equal to rate of backward process. Here in this process, any chemical reaction is happened? No chemical reaction. It is completely physical process. That's why this is called physical equilibrium. In the same way, if it is happening in chemical reaction, that is called chemical equilibrium. But important point, it is everywhere we are discussing this equilibrium, that is only dynamic equilibrium, not static equilibrium. Static equilibrium means this 5 grams of sugar is added now. After seeing some extent, after some time, that 5 grams will be remain like that, but no molecule from undissolved state is converted to dissolved state. Even dissolved state molecule is not converted to undissolved. That is also proved. Actually, how can we say that, sir? It is undissolved and dissolved sugar like that. Okay, scientists have done the experiment by taking radioactive sugar. Suppose, see ma, first they have dissolved this 30 grams of sugar. Na? First they have taken this 30 grams of sugar. The 30 grams of sugar, they have taken C12H22O11 only. C12H22O11. This is normal sugar, dissolved sugar. But after preparation of the saturated solution, newly they are adding 5 grams. This is radioactive sugar, contains carbon 14 or oxygen radioactive. Like that we will take carbon radioactive sugar. Actually that sugar contains carbon only, but carbon is 14 isotope, C14. Previous one, it is contained by 12 isotope, C12 isotope. Okay, now initially while we are adding this 5 grams of sugar, this 5 grams of sugar must be radioactive, correct? Undissolved sugar. But this undissolved sugar which is present initially, which is radioactive, after some time that radioactive carbons are entering into dissolved state also. This radioactive sugar is entering into dissolved state. Some undissolved state, some dissolved carbon which is normal carbon is coming into normal state, this undissolved state. Like that mixing is happened. They found that 5 grams of sugar initially whatever they have taken radioactive, after some time that 5 grams of sugar is entirely not radioactive. Some sugar particles they are getting absorbed with non-radioactive. What is the meaning of that one? From where we got that non-radioactive? From already dissolved particles. In that way they understood that process is happening, but rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. In that way they understood. Okay, na? This is about physical equilibrium. This is enough. Actually, more than this 2 or 3 are there. Actually, this is solid liquid equilibrium. Like that, liquid gas like that are there. But those are not that much important for doing the problems. First we have to go through what is the chemical equilibrium. So let us start this chemical equilibrium. The same way how we have discussed that physical equilibrium, we can start this one also. Rate of forward reaction must be equal to rate of backward reaction. Okay, what is that rate of forward and backward? According to chemical kinetics, we will get that one. But before that, here, same thing. Suppose I took reactants initially and products finally. This is reactants and these are products. Okay. Now reaction is started. Suppose products I took for example, reactants are there initially. They are undergoing reaction to form products. Okay. Slowly reactants concentration is decreased, and products concentration is getting increased. Okay. After some extent, products, some considerable amount will be formed in which they will undergo reversible reaction, means backward reaction. Then there onwards backward reaction is also getting happen slowly. After that, what is going to be happen finally? Rate of forward reaction and the rate of backward reaction is getting equal. Okay, that rate of forward reaction and rate of backward reaction is getting equal for some reactions nearer to reactants itself. Nearer to reactants means for the reaction I took reactants and products like this. Now initially reactants will undergo reaction to form products. See, 5 grams of product is formed. Immediately that 5 grams of product cannot be converted to back because some considerable amount of product must be there to undergo backward reaction also. So till how much extent that can be, it will be formed, and now it is started with the backward reaction also. Products will be converted to reactants. So while reactants are getting converted to products, initially rate of forward reaction is more. Slowly, at once products are started to form reactants, rate of backward reaction is also slowly increasing. At that time, initially rate of forward reaction is high, rate of backward reaction is low. Slowly rate of forward reaction is getting low and rate of backward reaction is getting high, and finally they are getting balanced, means both are getting same. That condition is called equilibrium. Rate of forward reaction equal to rate of backward reaction. That rate of backward reaction is equal to rate of forward reaction can be happened at reactant side. Meaning of this one is reactants less amount will be there, products more amount will be there. At that condition, there is a chance of rate of forward reaction equal to rate of backward reaction. Already I told, there is no need of reactants amount must be equal to products amount at equilibrium. The condition is at equilibrium, rate of forward reaction must be equal to rate of backward reaction. That rate of forward reaction will be equal to rate of backward reaction at this position or exactly middle, means exactly 50% reactants and 50% products are there in that condition. Next, or nearby product side, that might be happened at any place. No need of exactly middle. Equilibrium can be established at any condition. Nearby reactant side, middle, exactly middle, or nearby product side. Okay, that is depending on nature of reactants and products. Sometimes reactants can undergo reaction fastly, but products easily they can't undergo backward reaction. Okay, in that condition, major amount of products will be there and less amount of reactants will be there. Less amount of reactants and major amount of products means, products cannot undergo backward reaction, reactants can undergo forward reaction easily. Okay, then products concentration will be less, reactants concentration, 1 minute now. Okay, see, what is the condition I told? Reactants can undergo reaction easily, products cannot undergo reaction easily means this one, because less amount of reactants will be there, more amount of products will be there. At that condition, there is a chance of formation of equilibrium. Okay, sometimes exactly in the middle it will undergo. Okay, sometimes products undergo easily reaction when compared to reactants. Like that, in different conditions will be happened, but the condition at equilibrium is rate of forward reaction equal to rate of backward reaction. Okay, that is the thing, man. Is it clear? Now we will continue this one. Law of mass action. According to chemical kinetics, if you take any one reaction, actually in chemical kinetics we did not see reversible reaction. No? We have seen only one side, forward reaction only. For a forward reaction, reactants will be giving rise to products. Okay. Apply rate of the reaction, means rate equation. Rate of the reaction is directly proportional to product of concentrations of reactants raised to the power of coefficients. That is called law of mass action. Okay, let us consider one general equation. Here I am taking it as a reversible reaction. Now, general equation: small a capital A plus small b capital B. Small a means amount of capital, means number of moles of capital A. Small b, number of moles of capital B, is in equilibrium with small c capital C plus small d capital D. This is the reversible reaction we have taken. Okay, ma'am? Now I am considering forward reaction only. Forward reaction means small a capital A plus small b capital B, giving rise to small c capital C plus small d capital D. This is forward reaction. Apply rate equation. Rate is equal to, actually this is forward reaction. Rate of forward reaction is equal to Kf. Kf means rate constant of forward reaction. Already this one we know according to chemical kinetics. No need to explain that much. Okay. Rate of forward reaction equal to Kf into concentration of A power A into concentration of B power B. Concentration of A power A into concentration of B power B. This is law of mass action according to chemical kinetics. This is for which reaction? Forward reaction. Next, backward reaction. In this reaction, what is the backward reaction? Products converts to reactants. In that condition, products are behaving like reactants and reactants are behaving like products. This is backward. Then the backward reaction is small c capital C plus small d capital D gives rise to small a capital A plus small b capital B. Okay, ma'am? Now I am going to erase this one. Apply law of mass action for backward reaction also. Rate backward is equal to Kb, rate constant for backward reaction, into concentration of C power C into concentration of D power D. Okay, now what is the condition? Now what is the condition for equilibrium reaction? At equilibrium, rate of forward reaction equal to rate of backward reaction. So rate of forward reaction equal to rate of backward reaction. What is the rate of forward reaction? That one I am going to write here. Kf into concentration of A power A into concentration of B power B is equal to Kb into concentration of C power C into concentration of D power D. Now I am bringing this Kb this side. Kf by Kb is equal to concentration of C power C into concentration of D power D divided by concentration of A power A into concentration of D power B. Kf is rate of forward reaction constant, Kb is backward reaction constant. Division, they will give one new constant which is called Keq. KEQ. What is that KEQ? Ma? Equilibrium constant. That equilibrium constant KEQ is also represented by, see, KEQ is equal to Kc. What is that Kc? Ma? Equilibrium constant when reactants and products are expressed in concentrations. We have one more thing, that is Kp. When reactants and products are expressed in pressures, that is Kp. Both are equilibrium constants only, KEQ only. But to know the difference, what is that Kc and what is that Kp, we have given separately. Both are equilibrium constants only. As it is the term related to equilibrium, definitely for equilibrium reaction we can apply rate constant, that is equilibrium constant. Rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. In that condition, we got this KEQ is equal to Kc. So finally, important formula related to this one is Kc is equal to concentration of C power C into concentration of D power D divided by concentration of A power A into concentration of B power B. That is Kc. When reactants and products are expressed in concentrations. Okay, now next one. We have to go through Kp also, ma? Let us see. When all reactants and products are expressed in gases, ma? When all reactants are products and are present in gaseous state, it is N2 plus 3H2. Nitrogen is a gas, hydrogen is also gas. These are in equilibrium with 2NH3. 2NH3, even that is also gas. When all reactants and products are in gaseous state, we can apply, instead of concentration, we can go through pressure also. That's why, for this if you apply Kc value, when the reaction is expressed in total gaseous reactants and products also, we can take Kc value as well as Kp also, because gases can be expressed in concentration as well as easily we can express in pressure also. That is why for this reaction itself we can take concentration also. So according to our law of mass action, Kc of this reaction is equal to concentration of NH3 whole square. What is the coefficient here? 2. That 2 I wrote it as whole square divided by concentration of N2 power 1 into concentration of H2 whole cube. Concentration of H2 whole cube. This square bracket is mentioning concentration. Okay. Now, according to ideal gas equation in states of matter, we have seen PV is equal to nRT. PV is equal to nRT. Next, P is equal to N by V RT, where that N by V is called concentration, molarity. Then P is equal to C into RT. This implies concentration C is equal to P by RT. Concentration C is equal to P by RT. See, ma? Then concentration of NH3 is equal to, see, what is the thing I kept in box? Concentration is equal to pressure by R into T, correct? Concentration of NH3 is equal to pressure of NH3 divided by RT. Pressure of NH3 divided by RT. Pressure of NH3 divided by RT whole square. Divided by, what is this concentration of N2? C. Concentration of N2 is equal to pressure of N2 by RT. Pressure of N2 1 minute, it is not visible to you. Okay, see here. Here concentration of NH3 I wrote na. Pressure of NH3 divided by RT whole square. Whole divided by pressure of N2 divided by RT into pressure of H2 divided by RT whole cube. Pressure of H2 divided by RT whole cube. Now I am going to rub this one now. This is Kc1. Kc is equal to pressure of NH3 whole square divided by pressure of NH3 whole square divided by pressure of N2 into pressure of H2 whole cube. Pressure of NH3 whole square divided by pressure of N2 into pressure of H2 whole cube. This one will become RT whole power 4 na, it is coming to numerator now. RT whole power 4 divided by RT whole square. RT whole power 4 divided by RT whole square. Continuation. Observe. Previously we have concentration of NH3 whole square divided by concentration of N2 into concentration of H2 whole cube. That is Kc. Like this, pressure of NH3 whole square divided by pressure of N2 into pressure of H2 whole cube. That is Kp for N2 plus 3H2 gives rise to NH3 reaction. So I am writing Kc is equal to, this is Kp. This is Kp ma. Kp into RT power 4 minus 2. This 2 if it goes to numerator it will become 4 minus 2 ma. 4 minus 2. Kc is equal to Kp into RT power 2. This is the relation between Kc and Kp for N2 plus 3H2 gives rise to 2NH3 reaction only. But generalization we have to do. Till now we have done only for one reaction only. Now. That's why for making generalization everything is same only. Kc is equal to Kp same only. But RT power, what about this one only, it is different. Now let us write. Is it clear, I think? Okay, now. Once again, note down this reaction. N2 plus 3H2 gives rise to 2NH3. Left side moles of reactants, total number of moles of reactants equal to 4, total number of moles of products is equal to 2. Okay, 4 minus 2 is equal to 2. That 2 is present here. That 2 is present here. Just 1 minute now. Okay, see, this 4 minus 2 is equal to 2 na. These are number of moles of reactants minus number of moles of products, which is equal to delta N. Number of moles of reactants minus number of moles of products, which is equal to delta N. This is generalization of this reaction is Kc is equal to Kp into RT power delta N. That is the relation between Kc and Kp. There is no difference between Kc and Kp. Simply equilibrium constant when it is expressed in concentration. equilibrium constant when it is expressed in pressure. That is the thing, Kc and Kp. But the relation is Kc is equal to Kp into RT power delta N. That RT from where we got this one, from ideal gas equation, PV is equal to nRT. Okay, 1 minute. This delta N is equal to Nr minus Nb. That one I will check and say that one, but this formula is okay. Kc is equal to Kp into RT power delta N. If number of moles on reactant side and products are same, then delta N is equal to 0. RT power 0, it is 1. Then Kc is equal to Kp. Okay, finally, once again I am writing the relation between Kc and Kp. Kc is equal to Kp into RT power delta N. That is the relation between Kc and Kp. Suppose we have a reaction in which left side reactants number of moles and right side products number of moles both are same. When number of moles on reactants and products are same, delta N is equal to 0. Okay, and this is one of the important formulae for doing the problems, which is very helpful. Kc is equal to Kp into RT power delta N. Okay, ma? And actually chemical equilibrium, this equilibrium topic we give 3 days. Today and tomorrow's concept, we will complete the concept. One day fully we will go through problems only. Okay? This is about the relation now. I think you are clear about the relation between Kp and Kc. Next, a new side heading definition, that is reaction quotient. Reaction quotient, which is QC. Suppose this is the reaction equilibrium. These are reactants, these are products. Already we know for that reaction, equilibrium is established at a particular extent. This is the place where equilibrium is established. At equilibrium, we can find Kc. At equilibrium, we can find Kc, where Kc is equal to product of concentrations of products raised to their power of coefficients divided by multiplication, product of concentrations of reactants raised to the power of coefficients. That is Kc. Understanding, ma? See, this is the total reaction by equilibrium. These are reactants and these are products. We know already for this reaction equilibrium is established. Then at that equilibrium we can find Kc value. Now, actually this is generalization. For a known thing, we have known already Kc. I am checking now. After 5 minutes, here at this condition, I found Kc value. Kc is nothing but how we can write the Kc, same like that I will find Kc value, but it is not equal to Kc because at equilibrium only it is called Kc value. And at any remaining condition, that is called reaction coefficient. At any other condition, in what way we are going to find that Kc? In the same way, at any other place, nearby reactants or nearby product, not at equilibrium, at any other place if you find, that is called reaction coefficient. Okay, reaction coefficient also same formula, same, small a capital A plus small b capital B gives rise to small c capital C plus small d capital D. If you write the reaction, reaction coefficient QC is equal to concentration of C power C into concentration of D power D divided by concentration of A power A into concentration of B power B. Same thing, but the difference is Kc is the value at equilibrium we will find, reaction coefficient is the value at any time we can find. See, here I found QC. This QC and Kc are the same. No. Further reaction must be happened. Next, I found QC here, little bit increased. I found QC here, little bit increased. Next, I found QC here, little bit more increased. Finally, I found QC here. That is equal to Kc. Okay, ma'am? Actually, Kc is fixed, but reaction coefficient we can find at any time. If reaction coefficient is equal to Kc, then we can understand that reaction is in equilibrium. That reaction is in equilibrium. If it is not equal, we have to understand that one should attain equilibrium. Okay, in what way we can explain? See, here also we can find Qc. Here also we can find Qc. At any time we can find Qc value. If Kc is equal to Qc, equilibrium concentration K is equal to Qc, then both are said to be in equilibrium. That is, that reaction is in equilibrium. Okay. If Kc is equal to Qc, reaction is at equilibrium. That is the point we have to understand. Next. If Qc is less than Kc, see ma, left side, these are all Qc values less than Kc only. Slowly Qc is getting increased and it is attaining to Kc value. Then if Qc is less than Kc, forward reaction must be taken. Forward reaction must be taken place to form equilibrium. If Qc is less than Kc, forward reaction must be taken place to be equalized with equilibrium. That means to undergo equilibrium. Next. If Qc is greater than Kc, means product's concentration is more when compared to reactant's concentration. Already it attained equilibrium and crossed that equilibrium also. Then what should be happened? Again, equilibrium will be shifted towards left side. That means backward reaction must be happened. Backward reaction will be happened to attain equilibrium. If Qc is equal to Kc, already that reaction is in equilibrium. If Qc is not equal to Kc, two conditions. Qc is less than Kc. Qc is less than Kc means to attain equilibrium, forward reaction must be taken place. Then, if Qc is greater than Kc, backward reaction must be undergone to undergo equilibrium. Okay, this is the concept about Qc. The difference between Qc and Kc is only one thing, that is Kc is nothing but that is the value of equilibrium concentration at equilibrium. But Qc we can find that constant value at any time. If that Qc is getting equal to Kc, then the reaction is in equilibrium. Okay. This is about the concept related to this one. Now, factors affecting chemical equilibrium. In a chemical equilibrium, as long as if there is no factor is going to affect that one will be attained equilibrium only. But now we will see what are the factors they are going to affect the equilibrium. Those factors we are going to study. That is completely depending on the principle called Le Chatelier principle. So many times we have heard this one, Le Chatelier principle. That is when this factors affecting equilibrium is attained completely, we can understand depending on Le Chatelier principle. When any effect is applied on a particular reaction or particular substance, that reaction or substance will be responding in a way that to reduce the effect. For example, so many times I might have told, let us take one inflated balloon. I am applying pressure on that inflated balloon. While I am applying pressure on that inflated balloon, correctly the molecules, gas molecules which are present in between the hands, they are applied pressure. Now what they will do, they want to go to other region Because of that, other region is getting inflated. Because here more pressure is there, no? They want to reduce the pressure on them. If they are present there only, pressure will not be reduced. That's why if they move to other regions, number of molecules present in that region, in between the ends, will be getting less. According to that, pressure is getting less. So when we apply pressure on that region, the molecules are responding in a way that they are going to escape from this region to another region to reduce the pressure. That is nothing but Le Chatelier principle. Okay, ma. According to Le Chatelier principle, we can see here what are the factors going to affect this equilibrium. Mainly, first one, pressure. For example, N2 plus 3H2 is in equilibrium with 2NH3. N2 plus 3H2 gives rise to 2NH3. Remaining so much information and theory, all those things okay. I will give only one point. By using that point, what about the effect of pressure, easily we can understand. That is, after giving the reaction, immediately find the number of moles on reactant side, total number of moles on reactant side and total number of moles present on product side. What is the total number of moles on reactant side, ma? That is 4. On product side, 2. On this equilibrium, I applied pressure. When we apply pressure on this reaction, what will be happened? Equilibrium will be shifted towards which side? That is the question. When we apply pressure on this reaction, okay, equilibrium will be shifted towards which side? See, I increased pressure. When we apply pressure, equilibrium will be shifted in a way that on which side less number of moles are present, towards that side equilibrium will be shifted. On which side number of moles are less, towards that side equilibrium will be shifted. Now, when we increase the pressure, on which side number of moles will be less? Right side. So, equilibrium will be shifted towards right side. That means forward reaction is happened easily. Forward reaction is happened easily and ammonia is going to be formed. Understanding, ma? Now, for this reaction, we want ammonia. Like that the question will be. Okay, they will give Haber's process. In Haber's process, if I want more amount of ammonia to be formed, then what we have to do? What about the pressure condition I have to apply? Okay, when we apply more pressure, automatically reactants are converted to product side. That means equilibrium is shifted towards right side, meaning more amount of products are going to be formed. Then high pressure is required to obtain ammonia in the Haber's process. High pressure is required to obtain ammonia in the Haber's process. Like that we can give the answer. Because when we apply pressure on this type of reaction, equilibrium will be shifted towards particular side in which less number of moles are present. Suppose they told that I don't want ammonia, I want to keep that nitrogen and hydrogen like that only. Then what I have to do? We have to reduce the pressure. When we reduce the pressure, opposite effect will be happen and equilibrium will be shifted towards left side. Equilibrium will be shifted towards left side. This is the effect of pressure. Simple thing. When we apply pressure, when we increase pressure, equilibrium will be shifted towards one particular side in which number of moles on that particular side will be less. Onto that side, this equilibrium will be shifted. Okay. According to that, so many different types of twisted questions will be there. What I have to do to get the products, what I have to do to get the reactants like that. Don't get confused, ma. Easy one. Okay. Now, for example, any one reaction which has number of moles on reactant side and number of moles on product side are same. For any reaction, number of moles on reactant side and product side are same. Then there is no effect of pressure on that equilibrium. And one more thing, while we are discussing this equilibrium, okay, when we are discussing this pressure, solid will not be considered. C plus O2 gives rise to CO2. For the example, I am telling here, carbon is solid. Don't count the number of moles of solid while we are seeing the effect of pressure. Number of moles on left hand side, 1 only. Number of moles on right hand side, 1 only. Why we are not considering here? This is carbon solid. Solid cannot apply pressure. Okay, pressure effect will not be shown on solid. That's why even in solids, in liquid solutions also we have seen pressure has no effect. So in this type of condition, left hand side number of moles and right hand side number of moles both are same. Then there is no effect of pressure in this type of reaction. Like that we have to write. Okay, solids and liquids we won't consider. Maximum we have to concentrate on gaseous state only. Okay, that is. This is about effect of pressure. Next, effect of temperature. Completely Leclerc principle simple. Suppose a reaction is given, N2 plus 3H2 is in equilibrium with 2NH3. Delta H is equal to negative they give. Delta H is equal to negative. When we see delta H is equal to negative for a equilibrium reaction, that delta H is negative for forward reaction only. We have to understand for forward reaction they give the hint. That is not related to backward reaction. Okay. Then if delta H is equal to negative, forward reaction is equal to exothermic. Backward reaction is equal to endothermic. Forward reaction is equal to exothermic, backward reaction is equal to endothermic. When we increase temperature, here temperature effect means when we increase temperature, what will be happen? Which reaction will be easily happen? Endothermic. So when we increase temperature for this type of reaction, endothermic reaction will be happened easily. Which reaction? Backward reaction. Means equilibrium will be shifted towards left side. Equilibrium will be shifted towards left side. Correct? Okay. So endothermic reaction is possible. Equilibrium will be shifted towards left side. Then to obtain ammonia in this Haber's process, ammonia means which reaction must be happen? Forward reaction. For undergoing forward reaction, high temperature must not be possible, because if you increase temperature, what happened? Backward reaction is possible because it is supporting endothermic reaction. Then lower temperatures are required to undergo forward reaction. Means equilibrium to undergo towards right side, we have to require lower temperatures. But scientifically, very lower temperatures are also decreasing the reaction. That's why moderate temperature is required for undergoing this reaction. In that way, we can estimate whether reactants are going to be formed or products are going to be formed. That is our duty. Okay, ma? So if they give delta H is equal to negative for the whole equilibrium, we have to understand that is equilibrium forward reaction only. That equilibrium forward reaction means, forward reaction is exothermic. Then temperature will not increase the exothermic, it will increase the endothermic. So lower temperatures are required to undergo forward reaction, higher temperatures are required to undergo backward reaction. In this way, temperature effect we can see. Same according to Leclerc principle only. Catalysts have no effect on equilibrium because they will increase the rate of reaction, forward reaction and backward reaction in the same way. That's why equilibrium will not be shifted towards right side or left side in the presence of this catalyst. These are the factors affecting equilibrium. Those are, one more thing is there, concentration of reactants and concentration of products. That one we will see. Before that, pressure effect we have seen, temperature effect we have seen. Okay, now for the same reaction, if I want to see concentration, when I increase concentration of reactants, reaction will be forward. When I increase concentration of products, reaction will be backward. That is simple only. That is concentration effect. Completely depending on Leclerc principle. Whatever the effect we are applying, that this reaction will be responding, or equilibrium will be responding in a way that to reduce that effect. That is Leclerc principle. Okay, ma? And these are the factors affecting equilibrium condition. In next class, what about the acid, base and salts and remaining conditions here, we will see, ma. After that, we will go through the problems. Okay, ma? Thank you. Thank you all.